Take one.
I'm a little too late, I'm a little too late, I'm a little too late, too late, too late. I couldn't be home. I didn't know.
All right, cool. So we're sitting here with the Happy Fits, who are stopping by Austin for their Eat Your Fruits tour. They're showing their debut album, Concentrate. Could you guys introduce yourselves and tell what instrument you play?
I'm Calvin. I play electric cello.
I'm Luke. I play drums.
I'm Ross and I play guitar.
We all sing.
Awesome. So, how's the tour been going? Are there like you had any weird experiences or any crazy, interesting?
There's like a whole catalog I'm going through of ridiculous stuff that's happened. We've told this story so many times, but we stayed in a first time Airbnb in Oregon, and the lady like kept spiders in her house and would name them, and like I really should go more into it, but I feel like she's gonna chase me down one day and follow me. But yeah, we've had a few interesting hotel stays for sure and places to stay. They were a little terrifying.
Yeah, just when we stayed at Albuquerque, we found out just like a few months ago, 3 people got shot and died or killed there.
Yeah, at the motel we were staying
Man, this
at.
interview's off to a great start.
But other than that, though, the tour's been amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've played in so many new cities, and we played a bunch in California. We played in Seattle, and all of Arizona has been amazing for us. Now we're in Texas now, obviously, but it's been so fun so far. We've definitely done a lot of driving, and it's caught up to us a bit because we're about 6 weeks into the tour. But still, like, all the shows have been amazing, despite like our sleeping situations and stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
So I gotta know, like, you guys have your album covers, you know, the banana and the orange, and then the Eat Your Fruits tour. What's the deal with it? What's the deal with the fruits? Because I have no idea what's happening.
So when me and Ross first started thinking about what to name the first EP, I just thought doing a pun would be like really accessible for some reason. So I didn't know much about like Photoshop, so I made the cover on MS Paint. And it's awfully appealing. So it's like a banana, and then it's screaming. And the joke is that you're like peeling the banana. It's like, yeah. But after that, we had to rebrand it because some venues wouldn't take us seriously. So
yeah, they're like, we don't book joke bands. I was like, well, I guess you're not wrong.
So yeah, we rebranded it early, or I think it was late 2017 we did that. And then just the bright colors we thought were really nice in terms of just marketing and shirts. So we decided to just keep with the fruits. And it's not like someone's going to have anything against fruits. You know, like a parent's not going to be like, don't listen to that, it has an orange on it. So
We weren't really going to do, I think we first talked about the album not being fruits. And then I think Calvin came up with Concentrate. And we're like, oh, that works for an orange, like really well. So then it just kind of went from there. It's like it snowballs. So, yeah. But now we kind of have to do fruit. So we're stuck.
And how would you guys describe your sound?
That's a tough question.
I'd say it's like a mix of just like
Jazz, heavy metal,
of like
EDM,
And rap.
2000s, like early 2010, like indie rock and pop. So like mainly like the Killers and the Strokes, Two Door Cinema Club.
Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
But there's an electric cello. I think the part of the genre just has to say electric cello because it's kind of crazy.
Those are all really cool influences. Yeah, I like that a lot. So I've always wondered with bands like how much like music theory ties into like songwriting. So I wonder if like, is that a big component, or do you just jam and like see what comes out?
Oh, it's like 100%.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah. So
Calvin comes and he's like, okay, it's going to go from this chord to the fourth, and then it works because there's a sixth, and then he goes off.
But yeah, I didn't understand music theory for like such a long time. It was like 2 years I was taking it and just like staring at the board and the teacher not knowing what was going on. And then my last year of music theory, it just clicked. And that was like, I'd have song ideas, but I wouldn't know how to translate it to an instrument. And just taking music theory just completely changed my life. And it like kind of, it's just learning a whole new language and helps you like express yourself. So that like we would not be a band had I not taken those classes for sure.
I think also the cello definitely adds it's like easier, I think, to explain a lot of stuff by.
Yeah, cool thing about cello is that it's tuned in fifths. So that's, you basically got like I guess you could say the outline of a chord. So I play mostly 2 strings at a time usually. If you're playing bass, you don't do that because it kind of muddies up the sound. But if you're playing an open fifth, it keeps the harmony kind of open and it fills in the sound really nicely.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I noticed that Calvin, in a lot, like most of your shows, your bow is just like destroyed. It's like even like at the beginning. So I wonder if like, is it like a big hassle to like, do you have to get your bow restrung a lot?
So I used to play classical cello a lot, and like I remember going to like a luthier shop to get one of my bows rehaired, and it's usually like $80 to get it rehaired. And there's one time I went in and the guy was like, "Hey, you want to try out a $250,000 bow?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it's like, I mean, you can kind of.
It's not even the instrument. It's the thing you put. It's like a guitar pick. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
I like to compare it.
That's
It's
a
like,
house, man.
it's like a wand. If you're like, it's like a Harry
Does it
Potter
shoot
wand.
fire
Yeah.
out? It better
You
for
gotta find the one that fits for you.
$250,000.
But when I started doing this, because I guess I'm playing like loud a lot and playing multiple strings, the strings break easy. So I just thought it'd be cheaper to kind of buy really cheap ones from China. So I buy them, they're like around $3 to $5 each. And I do like shipments of like 50. Yeah. And then it makes for like a good novelty item if like, I love it when fans come up after and they're like, "I play cello too." And like, "How could you afford to do that to your bows?" And I'm like, "Ta-da."
He used to
It's
break
all
it.
showbiz, baby.
He used to break it every single show. He would
Yeah.
break a bow. He would do in Heart of a Dancer. He would finish the one part and literally just throw it at the ground as hard as he could. And I guess that was kind of like, all right, it's part of the show. Just minus $5 every time for
Yeah, it's worth it.
throwing
It's fun.
bows.
Do you guys have like a dream collaboration? Anybody you guys really, really want to like play with?
Are we all going or
You
like
take that.
as a group? I think playing with Young the Giant would be really cool because a lot of people have come up and said that like we sound similar to them, certain songs, and we definitely have taken a lot of influence from them because we grew up with their music. And I think playing like a song with them would be really cool. So I don't know.
Foo Fighters. That would just be crazy. Like Dave Grohl's a legend. They all are.
I think doing one with like Alabama Shakes would be cool, but we're not cool enough to do one with Alabama Shakes. No one is cool enough.
And what is your guys like your driving influence for this album in particular? Like what has influenced your songs, especially Grow Back? I'm really curious for that one because
So that one was actually Alabama Shakes. That song started off, usually songs start off with like thinking of like the chorus and thinking of a catchy chorus, but that started off mainly with the verses, which is, so it was kind of like reverse engineered that way. And then in Alabama Shake's song Don't Wanna Fight, she does this like awesome like squeal in the beginning that's just so heavy metal. And I was like, I want to do that. And when we started like recording it or playing it, it's like we realized we didn't have like the southern flair to do it, but it still came across kind of like Royal Blood or like a little rocky, and we were like, that kind of
That was
works.
kind of unintentional, but it definitely turned out like
Yeah, we're
that
totally
and Mary
happy
were
with
very
it.
like Royal Blood-esque kind of
Mhm.
vibe.
So y'all, like, I know that like the EP was like, a lot of it was like, I'm sorry if this is a touchy subject. I know a lot of it was like about a breakup, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
is there anything that was like the driving? Is there anything that was the driving force, like in that sense, for the album?
I mean, While You Fade Away is like, I'd say that's like the one breakup song on the album, but definitely that's what helped propel us, and inspired us to quit school after that was
That
successful.
was a weird way to end that sentence. It really inspired us to drop out of school.
Yeah.
did, though.
I guess the success of it inspired us. But yeah, that song, that was like, I got off like a little stash of like melodies, and I thought like that would be like the simplest with like the the Austin bass line that just keeps repeating and repeating. Like that'd be easy for us to play live. And when we started, it was just me and Ross, and we just have to do things by ourselves. So like we didn't have a drummer. So
Calvin and Ross would have a bass drum, and then he was like Shaky Graves, and he would have bass drum in the right foot, and then tambourine in the left, and then Calvin used his bow, and he would literally hit a snare drum in between. Yeah. And then they like wanted to keep it, and I was like, "There's no point of me being here if we keep those." But
Sounds
yeah,
difficult.
I mean, they did it.
We got some old footage if you want.
Yeah, it was
pretty proud of it.
It's awesome. Hopefully, one day we can bring it back.
It like our songs now sound very different from how they did when we didn't have a drummer, just because we were playing with our feet.
Oh, like all the songs were different.
Yeah.
Achy Bones had like 2 minutes in it that don't exist anymore.
But things have progressed as Luke has been at it.
We've
and
sold out.
We've spent more time in the studio and stuff. But yeah, we sold our souls.
So do you guys we want to know like what comes first? Do you think of lyrics first? Or do you think of chords first and melodies?
I think it always starts with like a catchy chorus, like something that sounds like a chorus that hasn't been done before. To me, I think there's a lot of songs that sound similar, so we try to go for something that just sounds like something you want to listen to a lot, and then after that, then you build from just doing the then adding in the verse and the pre-chorus. So like a song like So Right Cool Whatever, that was like the verse was actually just a totally different song, and then the chorus I thought of like a few months later, and I was like
a
I could
6 minute long song.
You just combine these two and make it into a nice song. And then when we went to the studio, we shaved parts off and we got it down to 2 minutes 30. Right in the sweet spot.
So do you guys ever play covers at your shows?
Yeah.
The worst covers to ever exist. Yeah.
All right, so we played at Binghamton University.
I don't even want to say this.
For a birthday party, and it was like we hadn't been a band for that long. The album definitely wasn't out, and this whole group of friends, they just love Shrek, but like 4chan Shrek, like the Shrek as a meme. So the
it was like a cult.
Like,
they're basically a cult.
Play anything from Shrek and I'll be happy. So we learned All Star.
We chose the best
which isn't
one.
Very hard to learn.
We still haven't really learned it. We just kind of play it like half-ass, but. That we know that and All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor.
Oh yeah, you said you were like gonna play that last night. I was hoping maybe you'd bust it out.
I thought we were, because then our manager was like, "Do it," and then Ross just turned. He's like, "So what songs are we doing?" And I was like, "I guess not that one."
After like my 20th carrot joke failed, I was like, I can't humiliate myself more. So,
is there a reason you guys know that song, or was it just
do you want to explain Pledge?
Oh yeah, so we did this thing for our album called Pledge Music, where people would like donate money, and which would help us raise funds for the album, and then we in return we'd give them like some type of special gift, whatever
like
they chose.
they could buy packages.
Yeah,
it was like Patreon in a sense. Something
and when
like
the
that.
album,
I might have bought one.
Thanks. When the album came out, we shipped all our gifts and everything, and this one girl pledged money and asked that we do a cover for her, and she specifically requested All About That Bass.
It only took us 8 months to do
what's
it.
your last
Sorry
name?
for that.
Haley Parker. Oh yeah, okay. I totally remember packing all your stuff. Okay.
Oh, crazy.
yeah.
He's like, I cried for hours.
We were
I
very
put the button on my backpack.
Oh,
yeah.
Did everything come in good condition?
Yeah,
Because we have.
everything's
All right.
cool.
'Cause we got it all. in the
Forget
van
this
if you
interview.
need
What?
something.
How was our?
I mean, because like some fans will be like, "Yo, my poster's totally ripped," and I'll be like, "I'm so sorry." Like we feel really bad when that happens. So.
I mean, the sweater, like the sweatshirt, the pink one, I decided like never to wear, except like unless I was sleeping, because I realized I don't like that type of pink. But that's like a me thing.
Okay.
Well, that's the end of the interview, and well,
Well, what do you guys do when you're not on tour?
Well,
I work on a food truck and play video games. If I'm being real, that's pretty much all I do.
What kind of food?
Barbecue.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good time. I have fun.
I work on a shaved ice truck.
Kona Ice.
Kona Ice. Yeah, it's
We have
amazing.
that down here,
I
too.
The
love
way
it.
to say I work on a shaved ice.
Yeah, well, I can't say ice cream truck because it's not an ice cream truck. It's a shaved ice truck, and I just like go to parks and sell it to strangers, and it's awesome. I love it.
I mean, we haven't been out of school that long, you know.
Yeah.
I guess we've been out for like an entire year, so this would be like our second year that we're being out. But this summer I got a job at like a 24/7 diner. It was awful. I know after this tour I'm just gonna write and try to record as much as I can.
We all just like, we're not at the level yet where it's kind of like we go home and it's like, oh, we can just veg out and do whatever. It's like, yeah, we can do that for a week, but we gotta have enough money, because any money that the band really makes now, it's just going back into the band. So if we want to have like I wanted to order cheese tacos this morning, that's my money that I made a while ago, that we all have like our little own funds. So that, and then we hang and write music.
Sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. Yeah. I was wondering, when did y'all start? When did you decide that you wanted to pursue music?
I was 12. I played Rock Band. I was like, this is fucking sweet. And it was Maps by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. And I remember playing that. I was like, wow, this is so simple. You just hit stuff. It's way easier than everything else I got to do.
Actually, like, when was the first time you played a drum kit after that?
I was 14.
Did it like translate really easy? Were you just
Yeah,
like, whoa?
like literally, because it's like,
Make a real
I
sound.
mean, if you have 4 toms, it's like the same exact thing. You
That's
just
so
got to learn to
cool.
put your hands up and hit the cymbals,
Mhm.
and then like know your left foot too. But yeah, like I knew Maps instantly. I just went on the drums and it translates.
Mhm.
So if anyone's trying to learn, Rock Band is the way to go. But yeah,
When did you decide?
Like, when did I decide? Like, so sorry. Do you mean like when we decided as a band to pursue music? Or
Either
just
way,
when we
yeah.
got
If,
into
if,
music?
if it was like if it was just your decision on your own, then yeah, that's like good too.
Yeah. Well, when I started playing guitar, it was because of my brother joined, and then I was like, I just did everything he did when I was young. Like, he joined
good
basketball. I
thing your
did
brother
basketball.
stuck with it.
Yeah, he did soccer. I did soccer and stuff. But he quit after like maybe like half a year or something. And I absolutely loved my teacher, and I decided to keep going. And then from there on out, like, I'd always played guitar, and I always like loved music. And then when I finally went to college and we put out this EP and the song While You Fade Away started getting traction, that was when we really like thought about actually pursuing, I guess, this band and a life in music. And so I just called my parents one day when I was at college, and I was like, what do you think about like me leaving for now and doing this? And they were all for it. So then that like my decision and my parents' decision kind of both helped.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
I remember, yeah, like when the song While You Fade Away started getting a bunch of plays on Spotify. That was like the craziest, happiest 3 weeks of my life. And like I just remember like getting like emails in class and like leaving to call Ross and being like, hey, the guy from Dr. Dog just listened to our music. And like, yeah,
that's
like,
wild.
I just talked to like the president of Elektra, and like, yeah, it was just crazy, and it felt like so much stuff was happening that like we never thought would happen ever. And
I left school without a spot in the band. I heard While You Fade Away blew up. I was like, okay, goodbye, everybody. I love you. I'll see you soon. And then Calvin's like, we'll see if you're good.
No, I was like, I felt
He was nice, but, like, it was
I
like-
was like, I'm so excited.
Yeah, he was like, oh, well, like work. He's like, I want to see how you play. But it's like, it's kind of ridiculous to like say to someone like, oh, yeah, you're in. Like, that's like, I knew.
Mhm.
Like, if I'm leaving, like, I got to do it right. But yeah.
So do y'all what do y'all like to listen to? Like, do you have a favorite genre or anything? Like, I know you say you like mid 2000s rock and stuff. Like, or anything like maybe you listen to on the road, any
Yeah.
road trip songs or anything?
I remember like I think it was like around 7th grade or 8th grade. I just go on like Last FM and look up everyone's like similar like related artists, and that's how I'd find all my new music. And then after I started getting really serious into like classical music, through high school, like I kind of stopped doing that. But then ever since starting to tour, like we've had to find local support everywhere, and just that's kind of like reignited like my love for finding like unknown indie rock bands and trying to just find like really nice choruses to sing along to.
I was like, that was a good start with the voice crack. I was just like a huge metalhead, actually. And I listened to like Avenged Sevenfold and like Bullet for My Valentine and My Chemical Romance and like even heavier metal. And then my dad was like, I always like loved Led Zeppelin and John Bonham and rock, but then I stopped like kind of playing drums and singing and playing guitar, and that's where like Strokes, Arctic Monkeys, Hosier, all that, like City and Color came in, Circus Survive. So it's kind of like, it's weird. We all have very different tastes in music. We all like agree on a lot, but there's a few where like we hear each other's bands and we're like, nah, I don't like that.
I feel like mostly my music genre lies in like indie music, but we do a lot of really long drives, and like on those drives, if you're driving for a long time, you kind of get tired of listening to the same style of music. So I have a bunch of different playlists. I listen to like a wide variety from like, I have a playlist just for like classic blues and like Eric Clapton and all that, and then I have like our like more modern music like Young the Giant and stuff, and Alabama Shakes and all that. And then I like, when for the days that we're like really tired and we need to stay up and drive, I have like a really like ignorant rap playlist and stuff just for fun. But I do like, I enjoy certain boundaries of rap, but if I need to stay up,
Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, Anderson .Paak's really
Mac
good.
Miller.
And Mac Miller, yeah.
One of my favorite
They've been
drives,
like two big ones for this tour for sure.
we drove from, it was like Richmond back to Jersey on our last tour, and I was like really, really hungover. I just remember listening to 5 hours of funk music with Tommy. Tommy was in the car. It was just straight funk.
Tommy,
for
our
so
sound
long.
and roadie, is here visiting. He didn't come on this tour because he's a working boy, but came out to hang.
So what's your guys' plan after the tour? I know you guys said work, but is it back to work and then maybe a little bit of songwriting? Is there any new music for us to look out for?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, for me, it's got to be just going back to songwriting. Because I feel like I spent like the first like 18 to 19 years of my life just like learning like how to do it. And for the past year and a half, I haven't been doing it. So I just kind of need to, before I lose it all, I need to go back and write more.
Like if we did nothing, we have a second album. There's enough songs, but it's whether or not, you know, we want them on it. It's like, because with Concentrate, it was so diverse, I think, that like this other one would be good, but there wouldn't be like, we want it to be like a different experience, but the same vibe. So I think a good thing for us to just go back and rework some songs and just write new ones and really start writing together, the three of us, because a lot of it was Calvin's just a machine, and he's like, I wrote 35 songs, and it's like, oh well, that's the one thing bands worry about, and now we don't have to do that. And then it was kind of like a quick like, oh, we think we should put this in, blah 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 blah, but not really like starting from the core of a song and working through a bunch we haven't really gotten to dive into yet. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think we'll be mostly taking the time to write as a band, and then we'll plan out our next year. I mean, right now, obviously, like this album just came out. We spent a long time making it, so we're not planning on recording this winter or anything, but we definitely want to get like working on new material and stuff, and eventually be ready to record it when we go into the studio again.
We finally have a team now too. Before it was kind of just like a lot of these guys scrambling around doing stuff, and now that we have a full team, I think we can focus on doing the music part as opposed to the business and organization. So that's awesome.
Well, whenever you guys do end up releasing new music, I can promise that we're looking forward to it. But yeah, we wanted to thank you guys for coming in today. I'm really happy that you guys' tour is going so well.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween, by the way. Today's Halloween, so yay.
It's gonna get spooky.
Gonna get spooky. All right, with the spooky fits. And we're really excited to hear you guys play. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
thanks for
us.
coming in.
I wanna be with you tonight, but I'm a little too late.